Well, hi, my name is Joseph Paul. I am a healing artist, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you today. This is a timeless message for whatever it is, whatever time of the year it is that you are watching this. But I am channeling this in the hopes that you take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. You allow yourself to hear what it is that is being offered and find a way or a means to incorporate it into your own spiritual journey, your own soul growth, and knowing that everything that I'm offering you today is only offered in the hopes that it is leading to your highest good. None of what I'm offering here is meant to, one, diagnose, treat, cure, heal any ailment of the mind or body, but none of what I'm offering here either is meant to criticize or to harm or to make you feel like you're not doing enough, okay? Sometimes when we get into the habit of listening to readers, many of us are just looking for the good news. We're just looking for the aspect of ourselves that is leading to our greater good. Like what is new and exciting and positive that's coming up. And oftentimes we forget that there is an opportunity for reflection to come up or an opportunity for us to sit presently with each other and offer love and encouragement for whatever circumstance that may seem challenging at the time to that we're navigating through. Okay. And all that being said, I pulled some cards before the reading, before this message today, because I wanted to get some guidance from Source on what specifically to offer. As you know, I do not offer anything based off of the ego here. I'm offering specifically to be a channel, a vessel of Source to offer the collective, any one person who is needing to hear this message, an opportunity to grow and thrive wherever they find themselves. So, primarily, we're working out of the chakra deck, and this is a Chakra Insight Oracle deck. For those of you who may not be familiar with the chakras, they are energy points that line along the meridian of our body here. And we start off with the root chakra, moving up to the sacral, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. And all of these energy points are places in which some of our finest qualities and traits of self are stored, not in the literal sense, but in a way that we access energy to show up authentically in those traits of self. So when it comes to showing up as a secure, as an empowered or a determined type person, you might pull on the solar plexus chakra, which is found right here, right above the navel and right below the breast. And when we think about finding traits of stability and other senses of confidence and stability, that would be found in our root chakra, which is found right below the waist and probably right behind the tailbone area. So right where the base of your spine is located. So knowing all of this, sometimes we might find that these energy points might be a little bit overused because we're relying too much on one thing, or they might be underused. They might be misaligned because of any stress or anxiety that comes up from our day to day or from any challenging circumstance or experience that we are navigating through, such as the death of a loved one, or dealing with work stress, or a prolonged sense of being in fight or flight mode from whatever life challenge that you're dealing with. All this being said, Source wanted me to pull up specifically the root chakra, in which we're just talking about, or just being curious about how we're engaging with our physical health, how we're dealing with our sense of, entitlement to possessions, and how we are specifically working within our family systems, our family units. At the time of me recording this, it is around Christmas. It's 2 days before Christmas. We're finding ourselves moving into the new year, and all the while, we have a lot of things going on outside of our own personal sphere of immediate, of what we can immediately see within our immediate family because of whatever circumstances that are occurring in other countries, as well as in politics and even on the street. And so when we think about how we find stability in all of this, there is a big part of us that wants to rely on somebody else who's in a position of power to solve all of our problems for us, as they should be doing those things. We did elect certain officials to take care of things, but for many of us, we're noticing how these officials are not necessarily doing their job in a way that benefits the collective, right? And so when we watch that and when we see all of the distress, all of the I guess horrific events happening outside of ourselves with very little to which we can control, it does send us into a moment of fight or flight response of, what do I do now? How can I even make sense of everything? How can I even make sense of the fact that I have dreams and goals and ambitions, and it feels almost impossible to go out on a limb, so to speak, and try to accomplish those goals when it seems like the world is burning? Like, I could probably start to attempt it and then everything just goes to shit, right? All of this brings up a sense of feeling helpless. It can bring up a sense of feeling out of control, unstable, and uncertain about what is going to happen tomorrow. And this is why we're being encouraged to consider grounding in, connecting with our root chakra. As we mentioned here earlier, the root chakra is found at the base of the spine. And it really, when we think about it on a building a foundation sense, is at the base of the foundation. It is the root at which everything is built upon. And as we focus on, the metaphor of it all, if we were to remove the foundation of a building, it would collapse in on itself. And in the same way, the foundations that we set up for ourselves, if they are removed, if we don't find a healthy balance in each of those foundational elements, the way in which we stand up tall in our own abilities and traits may be weakened, may be in a place of collapse, of ready to collapse, because we don't have a strong foundation. So what makes up that strong foundation is the question that you may ask yourself, and is a question that many of us have considered and developed as we've grown older throughout the years. We've noticed that we feel better in places that we are seen, valued, supported, and loved. We feel better when we have an adequate amount of rest, when we eat well, when we exercise and take care of our body. We feel better when our finances are in order, when we have a place or a sense of abundance coming in for us, right? But when those foundations are removed, how do we at all enjoy the rest of life? It becomes difficult and it almost seems impossible. And in the same sense, many of us may be finding ourselves in a position where we are watching our foundations in the world seemingly crumble and collapse, and it makes us feel out of balance and out of alignment with ourselves. So one of the things that Source is just asking me to remind you is spending some time out in nature. We may not be able to control immediately the things outside of ourselves, such as the politics or the things going on in other countries, to a capacity in which we just do one action and suddenly everything is better. But what we can do to at least find that emotional security, to find that stability within ourselves, to make sure the rest of the building stands firm and tall, is to root ourselves in the places in which we originate. On the physical form of where our vessel comes from, we come from the earth. And when we connect back to our mother Gaia, when we connect to the energy of the earth, it allows our body to come into union with an energy system that is greater than ourselves. So go spend some time out in nature. Go touch a tree. Go take your shoes off and ground in some grass. And even if you might find yourself in an element right now where it's freezing cold, for some of you, you are living in a part of the country or the part of the globe where it's snow. Still, finding time to bundle up and go outside in nature might bring a sense of calm and serenity for yourself. Maybe go on an extended walk somewhere. Look at the trees and how they are in the elements. Notice everything about the scenery around your home. Or if you have plants, spend time with your plants. Whatever you need to do to ground yourself back to a natural element of what Source is asking for us to consider at this time. This is also an encouragement to be loving to your body. Many of us are feeling out of alignment with the way that our bodies used to look and how they look now, where we feel like we should be looking one way or the other because of what we're looking at on social media or what we're hearing our friends are doing for themselves and their physical health. You are right where you need to be, right as you are right now. And saying that, we encourage you to consider that if there's some general improvements that you would like to make, by all means, make those general improvements. But the extent at which you're criticizing and critiquing yourself of not being perfect, of not having it together, of looking worse or better, or whatever the case may be, to get yourself feeling down and out is not a place where we encourage you to ground and root yourself in. We are not our bodies. We are simply a soul having a human experience. In all of this experience, our vessel is capable of doing things at any given time based on the energy level that it has, based on the nutrients that we're providing, if we're drinking enough water, or if we're getting enough rest. And at the same token, it ages as well, and it doesn't perform as well as it did when you were very young, when you were fresh into this environment. Things, weather, we'll rephrase that to say things change and they adapt, and they adapt based on the environment in which it is found in. So giving yourself grace and compassion at this time is highly recommended, okay? Now, as we move into the middle part of this message, we want you to consider that your physical health, again, is priority. It is number one. It comes above all. And as we say that, if you're putting the material possessions ahead of your physical comfort, meaning you're more inclined to purchase the clothing, you're more inclined to purchase the expensive shoes, the expensive watch, the car, go get the new best phone, go into the movies and watch something that, is the new best thing, rather than tending to your body, this may be that encouragement to consider how to redirect and shift the priority to maintaining the physical vessel, because those material possessions are temporary. And if your vessel isn't even at a point where it can handle using those material possessions, it's for nothing. So, that being said, invest in your skincare, invest in your physical care, going to seek out medical professionals who are going to make sure that you are well, and being mindful of who you invest your time and energy with, right? We acknowledge that not everyone is out to help you. They're there to take your money. But as we remind you of taking care of your physical vessel, we remind you that it's okay to sleep in. It's okay to maybe have a snack that is off your calorie line of your calorie intake for the day. Mainly just nurturing the physical vessel is what we're encouraging, versus going out and purchasing the fancy thing because you feel like that is going to bring more fulfillment. The fulfillment won't be able to feel fulfilled if your physical vessel is not in the space energetically to feel it. So, not meaning to over amplify that message, moving into this middle half, we encourage you to consider with your belongings, with your assets, that if you're finding that you are really concerned and stressed about even having the money to support yourself, that if you're not in an energetic space to receive abundance, to receive the finances, then it may not be something that you will align yourself with at the current rate you're at. And all that being said, we're not telling you that you cannot go out of your way to plan and prepare and to strategize. To plan and prepare and to strategize how to receive more to pay your bills, to feed yourself, to take care of your children, to take care of your family, to maintain some sense of financial security in case of an emergency. But we do encourage you to consider that if you're not in this energetic alignment of feeling grounded and rooted, the ability for you to accomplish those things will be a moot point. So, again, finding time to ground yourself in nature, finding time to sit in meditation, to align the energy within will help bring you in that abundance that you're seeking. And even more so when we consider that there is external factors coming into play on how much money you do have. Don't stress about when and where the money is coming from. We encourage you to have faith in that maintaining this energetic balance within will allow us to step in and help you take care of the basic needs. You will always be fed. You will always be comforted and supported right where you are. And giving into the material panic of having to have it all and having to be overstocked with X, Y, and Z is playing into the game of fear and worry and doubt when it's not helpful in your spiritual growth here. Everything is temporary. Again, we are only souls having a human experience. And in this human experience, things fade away. They deteriorate with time. Don't place all your energy and your time into something that is not going to last forever. Instead, place it within so that way your spiritual growth can continue to magnify and grow. And as we move into this final part of the reading, in which we're offering this sense of awareness for how we choose to invest our time and energy, perhaps there are some of you at this time who are feeling that the time and energy that you're placing within your family unit, whether it's chosen or blood family related, is not giving you a return investment, meaning you're not feeling as if it's reciprocated. Maybe not even just reciprocated, it's just that you're not being seen, supported, valued, loved, appreciated for who you are within the family units that you typically identify with. As this is a season of giving, currently as we are filming this, we are moving through Christmas and Hanukkah, we are moving through Kwanzaa, we are moving into the new year. And a lot of people are finding that this is a difficult time to navigate because of the family environments that they find themselves or have found themselves in from birth until now. Many of you may have chosen to be separate from your blood family, given the fact that you two do not see eye to eye, or you are not in a place to meet halfway. And some of you are in a position where you are with family and you're still struggling to feel included or struggling to feel as if there is even any point of maintaining this relationship. All that being said, we remind you that family is more than just the physical. As we've mentioned before, subtly in this message, we also remind you at this time that your family is an energetic family. It comes from source. It comes from a power greater than yourself. Connect to your environment. Connect to the world around you, whether it's through your spirit guides, your ancestors, your archangels, right? Allow them to come in and support you energetically at this time to help you feel less alone and less, solitude, feeling less in solitude than you typically would be. It may be difficult for some of you at this time to connect to that feeling of being loved from an energetic or the ethereal realm when physical touch and physical attention is what we're so accustomed to receiving as souls having a human experience. But as you practice this in meditation, as you practice this in mindfulness, just noticing the energy of what it's like to be in a room, to be near objects, to feel yourself out in nature, it will become second nature to experience love, unconditional love from things energetically outside of yourself in your moments of lack, in your moment of in your moments of feeling lack, in your moments of feeling disconnected, in your moments of feeling like you are on your own. Because truth be told, we have seen and watched you and observed you up until this point. And this message is reaching you at this time because we want to affirm your truth. We want to validate you in your experience. This is not something to just make you feel better and then push you along to the next day or the next week. This is meant to encourage you and support you and plant the seed that things are due to get better. Things are happening for you rather than to you. And in this experience where you're feeling disconnected from family, disconnected from your chosen family, know that this is maybe an opportunity to shift some awareness within about how you appreciate being supported, what lights you up, what needs you have when it comes to connecting with those outside of yourself on an energetic level. Making sure to set boundaries as you go, making sure that you set the intention as you go of what it is that makes you feel loved, what it is that makes you feel heard. And if those things are not being met, knowing how to say no and to walk away is what is being learned at this time. For some of you, you may have to do a little bit of journaling, may have to do a little bit of digging here to consider what is in your highest good. And there is no wrong way to figure this out. There is no shortened way of figuring it out. This is all happening at its divine timing to get you where you need to be when you need to be there. So, finally, to finish out this message, as this is a timeless message, none of what we're offering here, again, as was mentioned earlier, is meant to make you feel bad, to make you feel like you're not doing anything correctly, that you're not going to get it together, that everything is just bad, bad, bad. This, if anything, is just an opportunity to look at things objectively, to expand awareness, to expand thought, and to consider that there are ways to circumnavigate this experience. Letting the emotions come up and let them float through like a cloud or a wave, crashing down and passing through, fading through in the sky, is an opportunity to acknowledge that you are this soul having a human experience. Remembering that emotions are temporary. They are not here to stay for a lifetime, because if they were, you would be committed somewhere and you wouldn't be watching this as you were watching it now. But love comes from within, it comes from the universe, and at this time, you are aligned with love. Allow yourself to stay aligned with love. This concludes our message for today, and know that we love and support you, always and forever.